Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on MITV. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on MITV. I am Victor Daniels. In the news, with a view to positioning Nigeria in its rightful place globally, the Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured Nigerians in the diaspora of a robust engagement in the policies and programs of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Vice President spoke during a meeting with the members of the Nigerian community in the United States on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. He urged Nigerians overseas to keep believing in their home nation and adding that the country is on the right track under President Tinubu's watch. And he said that Nigeria was on the right path with the reforms being undertaken by President Tinubu under the Renewed Hope agenda. Shettima commended for their resilience and belief in the current Nigerian government, acknowledging their capacity to add value to the country's transformation efforts. The Vice President told the Nigerian community in the United States, as well as others across the world, to be proud of their heritage and noting that Nigerians' positive developmental indices in all spheres were a reflection of well-thought-out policies of the Tinubu administration.
And we are on a path to sustain growth and stability. Contrary to the reports you get, we are making progress. The Nigerians go and conquer the world.
That's right.
Nigeria no go carry
Last. Yep.
the economy, but that will have a very robust engagement with my boss when we get back home. Honestly, we are not tapping into our diaspora.
Yes, sir.
To do much better. Nigeria, that's where the action is. Beams was talking about food crisis in 2050. By that 2050,
all come together. We had a fantastic event this year. We also have the data mapping portal. And there are programs for you, for instance, the diaspora.
It's unprecedented, and it means that the government knows the hidden gems they have in the diaspora and them. I am an AI engineer with Amazon Web Services for over 7 years, and I see a lot of data. And Nigeria is very well positioned we are the giant of Africa, no question. We are the most populous black nation country in the whole world. And not only that, we have the human capacity, and everywhere we go, currently in the US, Nigeria has the largest is no longer the Asians, now is the Nigerians. And enough of the brain drain. Nigeria is not waiting to be handed over what it has lost. Now it's taking it back. And we can only take it back when the diasporians that has the skills like myself come together to say we need to go back and invest and direct all our resources back home, which is why I was inspired in 2020 when Amazon opened
of the diaspora. The people within the diaspora, the engagement of the diaspora in what's happening in Nigeria. And at the African Union itself, created the diaspora. We have the diaspora in different areas, who can contribute effectively in Nigeria. They should be consulted so that they can work, and we can work together. Not one person.
And meanwhile, the federal government has secured an enhanced funding commitment from the African Development Bank AFDB to kickstart the second phase of the special agro-industrial processing zones, and aimed at expanding a climate-resilient infrastructure and agro-industrial growth to the 24 additional states. The Vice President Kashim Shettima, who made the request during a bilateral meeting with the AF on the sidelines of the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York, It said the initiative is crucial to diversify Nigeria's economy beyond crude oil into a value-added agricultural exports. He stressed Nigeria's agricultural potential across its diverse ecological zones and called for the AFDB's broader support in digital innovation, highlighting that 5 of Africa's 8 unicorns are Nigerian startups. Nigeria's Minister of Environment and Housing also sought the AFDB's intervention in tackling the desertification through the Great Green Wall project and in addressing the country's housing deficit. AFDB's president assured national capital reform Africans' financial architecture and create jobs from its demographic strength and industrialize the continent. And earlier, the Vice President Shettima met with the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, where both leaders pledged to strengthen African Caribbean economic and cultural ties, with Shettima reaffirming President Bola Tinubu's commitment to rekindling the historic bonds.
To further support us in the phase 2 of the Special Agro-Processing Zones Authority. You assisted us with $300 million when you were in Badea, so I want to thank you. But like Oliver, because we are poised to diversify our monoproduct economy into agriculture, most especially value-added agricultural exports. And we have the potentials, with all due respect, Your Excellency, for ecological zones in Nigeria, from the mangrove swamp forests of the south to the Sahelian region of the far north. You can virtually grow anything. In states like Kebbi, you can plant money, and if money can grow, you can the soil is so rich, beyond having the hydrocarbon. So I want you to support us in the SAPZ, in our Green Legacy initiative, because there is an incestuous relationship between economy and ecology in the Sahel region, where you hail from.
Definition, but I'm looking at how we can really bring capital at scale to the continent to make the transformation of our economies and to transform our demography into a real dividend and to valorize and bring value to our natural resources. This is why my 4 cardinal points are increasing substantially the volume of finance in the continent, making each dollar works like 10. Second, reforming the African financial architecture, because today we have a scattered landscape of financial institutions. AFDB is working on some aspect, Afrexim Bank is doing something else, AFC is doing. We need to work together. We need to bring all these institutions to work together, and we need to bring sovereign.
And in the meantime, the Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed New York for Germany after representing President Bola Tinubu at the 80th United Nations General Assembly. And at the UNJA, Shettima secured the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres the commendation for Nigeria's quest for a permanent Security Council seat, and presented the country's $200 billion energy transition plan to investors and deepened the partnership with migration. He also delivered Tinubu's national statement, reiterating calls for the UN reforms and African control of $700 billion mineral wealth and greater digital inclusion. And additionally, he held talks with the Gates Foundation on healthcare and education while promoting Nigeria as a hub for his $3.4 trillion market. The Vice President will proceed to Germany for further engagement before returning to Nigeria. The federal government has called for the collective participation of all Nigerians in the nation's building, calling on all Nigerians to show understanding and support the administration of President Bola Tinubu to orientation, Muhammad Idris made the call while speaking at an inter-ministerial world press conference as part of our Ease on the Right Track. He said that from January 2026, Nigeria would begin the implementation of a new tax act which will simplify tax collection and raise more revenue for the country. And speaking further in the achievement of the administration, he says that there is losses in the sector is at all-time low. He says that investment in deep water $X billion and royalties from solid minerals between 2023 and 2024 have doubled. He also emphasized that Tinubu administration is all-inclusive, stressing that all regions in the country have felt the impact of the renewed Hope agenda. Meanwhile, the federal government has declared Wednesday, 1st of October 2025 as public holiday to commemorate Nigerians' 65th independence anniversary. Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated all Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora, on this historic occasion. Dr. Tunji-Ojo, in the statement signed by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Dr. Magdalena Jani, on Monday, enjoined citizens to continue to uphold the patriotic spirit, unity, and resilience that have sustained the nation since independence in 1960. He urged Nigerians to further keep faith in the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, which is anchored on national rebirth, economic transformation, and collective prosperity. The minister expressed confidence that with the cooperation of all Nigerians, the country will continue to grow stronger in peace, progress, and development. He wished Nigerians a happy and memorable 2025 Independence Day celebration. And in a related development, a social enterprise platform, Drop That Gun DTG, has urged a stronger cooperation between the federal government and the private sector to promote peace, unity, and national rebirth in Nigeria. And speaking at the media briefing in Lagos, the chief strategic of the DTG project, Modestus Bernard, said the initiative is designed to foster unity, create millions of young people, and reduce crimes by channeling youth talent into creates. And Bernard emphasized in an open letter to President Bola Tinubu that disunity remains the root of the nation's problems, and noting that unity is the only. He disclosed that the project aims to engage 1 million Nigerians and global supporters within 12 months and generating 30 billion naira in turnover, and while reaching 10 million participants in 2 years. The coordinator of the DTG Women of Peace, Omolara Fagboide, added that Nigeria was at the crossroad with hunger, unemployment, and crime threatening the people, but stressed that the project represents an opportunity to unite, empower, and rebuild the nation.
Let's move from corruption to correction. Let's move from to abundance. This is why I charge you today, men of the press, take this message to him and to Nigerians. Unity, though the most precious, is still the cheapest to promote and sustain. It requires only one truth, that we can see ourselves as one. One blood, one color, one people.
I call upon our brothers and sisters of super influence across regions. You are not just entertainers. Now the unity challenge that we have for you today, Fashion for Peace. In a few days, the Drop That Gun project will unveil the unity challenge. Fashion becomes our pride, and crime is no longer attractive. So together we can make this happen, and together we can drop that gun of disunity and raise a nation of peace with hope and with courage. children like Vigo, children who deserve to grow up in a Nigeria where creativity pays better than crime itself, where hope is stronger than fraud, and where unity is more valuable than the real oil itself. History will not only remember the EFCC for its convictions from becoming criminals in the first place.
Minister of Works Engineer Dave Mahi has vowed to expose the alleged fraud in the Wayne Homes project linked to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highways, announcing plans to petition the Department of the State Services DSS and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC to investigate claims of a $250 million investment. And speaking during an inspection tour of the coastal highway with the top politician figures and stakeholders, Umahi sections of the project. The minister disclosed that the government show me alongside a civil society leaders commended the federal government for initiating of 4 legacy projects, especially the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. They stressed that the project would yield a significant returns on investment and support economic growth, enhance development and improve Nigerians' quality of life, while urging Nigerians not.
And we are not out in the coffers of federal government. So I'm telling those in diaspora that if they invested, they should repatriate the money from whichever bank it is in this country, and they talk to 750 kilometers, and we're acquiring land from in this country, and they talk to 750 kilometers, and we're acquiring land from Channel 0 to 750. We are not going to chew it. It is for PPP. It's for people to develop. So, $250 million US dollars is a lot of us. It's a lot of money.
For me, I as a member of the civil society, I am putting it to her today. If by the end of 2 weeks, I don't see more evidence to show that will lay claim to the fact of what she said earlier, I will address a world press conference. Our position is for the people, for the investors, and for the government.
Justice James Omotosha of the Federal High Court Abuja has issued an order restraining a professor of political economy, Pat Otomi, and his associate from proceeding with the plan to establish a shadow government or cabinet in the country. Justice Omotosha issued the order in a judgment on a suit filed by the Department of the State Services DSS, and he declared the concept of a shadow government or cabinet as unconstitutional and an alien concept to the nation's presidential system of government. The judge held that Otomi and his associate could not hide under the rights to associate and to criticize to prevent acts capable of the nation's internal security. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government of Nigeria. The union made the decision following a National Executive Council meeting at the University of Abuja. The national president of ASU, Prof. Chris P. was respondent in Abuja. At the National Executive Council meeting held at the University of Abuja on the 28th of September 2025, the union decried the neglect of the university system and the government's consistent refusal to heed to its demand. He said that if at the end of the 14-day ultimatum, the federal government fails to address these issues, the union may have no option but to first embark on a 2-week warning strike and thereafter a total and indefinite strike. ASU's core demands remains largely unchanged, and renegotiations of the 2009 agreement and adequate revitalization funds for universities and settlements of outstanding salary and sustainable funding mechanism. And recall that the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Education, set up a committee headed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Abel Anita, to look into the proposal for ASU in a bid to ensure stability across universities. And we'll now take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll give you some more reports.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support. When you
get the school fees, you too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point o, sha. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land at Sure Banker. Progress na small win where the carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go Bible.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point.
A civil society organization, Save the Republic, has raised alarm over reports that more than 800 Nigerian engineers and workers were dismissed by Dangote Refinery after trying to join a trade union. At a briefing on Monday in Abuja, the group's constitutions and the Trade Union Act guarantee workers the right to freely associate and join unions, and any attempt to limit this right is against the law. And Save the Republic also pointed out that the Dangote Group has benefited from multiple government interventions and licenses, making transparency and fairness in its employment practices crucial. The organization called on government agencies to investigate the reported mass dismissals and look into allegations that some former Nigerian employees' positions are being found or filled by foreign workers. Save the Republic appealed for calm and urged all parties to negotiations, stressing that workers' rights must be respected alongside the group recommended reinstating the dismissed workers as part of a fair and sustainable solutions, emphasizing constructive engagement rather than confrontation. The group's convener assured the group's intention is not to target any company or individual, but uphold fairness and respect for Nigerian workers.
We also know that he wants to control all the sectors in the way they want to the end user. But that is not even the reason why we are here today. The reason why we are here is because Nigerian workers have been sacked and unjust. The irreducible minimum that we're asking for is that they should be reinstated, so that Nigerians will not be at the producers who are involved, and Aliko Dangote himself, that they should please resolve this issue as quick as possible.
And reactions have continued to trail the recently conducted Ward and Local Government Congress by the Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Unlike some members and chieftains of the PDP, a former organizing secretary of the party in the Southwest, Engineer Adedeji Dohati, berated the conduct of the Ward and Local Government Congress of the party in the state. In an exclusive interview with Mitv News in Lagos, Dohati believed that the conduct of the should be handled by members of the PDP at grassroots level. He berated the high-handedness and direction given by the chieftains of the PDP leaders at the state and national levels on the conduct of Ward and Local Government Congress, and pointing out that nomination forms were not available to some aspirants for their desired elect.
My advice is that to the people, to the members of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos, this is a time for all of you to stand up. This is a time for you to stand up for what is right. This is a time for you to stand up and say no to imposition and say no to dictatorship by some particular leaders or those that call themselves leaders. A lot of us have been in this party for 25 years, 25, 26 years. Nothing. We had 6 members of the House of Rep at one time, 11 members of this House of Assembly, and a particular leader sits down and says, no, all of them must be thrown out of their positions. This has been going on for 10, 15 years. Who does that? It is time, PDP members in Lagos State, for you to stand up and say no. The youth, Yomoko, the leaders in each of the local governments, the state ESCO members of the Southwest Zone, the governors within the Southwest, please do the right thing.
And as the race to the 2027 elections draw near, the African Democratic Congress in Ogun State has promised to wrestle a political party, APC. The ADC Rainbow Coalition Convergence former ADC National Chairman, Chief Ralph Nwosu, said that the party is ready to accommodate the various political groups ahead of 2027, assuring that the party will emerge victorious in 2027. And in attendance at the coalition is the Ajadi movement coordinated by Tunde Jedida and Idowu Imole, who said that the group is joining ADC to take over the control of Ogun State government and Nigeria in 2027. They believe that by coming together, that they can change the poor level of governance in Ogun State. The Ajadi movement said that they aligned with the ADC because the party Olufemi Ajadi Oguntoyibo as a philanthropist who has provided a succor to the less privileged. The Oyo State ADC chairman Yinka Olone expressed optimism that the party will push out the APC administration led by Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. He believes that ADC will occupy Aso Rock in 2027.
ADC will make some way, for that the second time more ways, but come 2027, ADC will wrestle power from all these parties in power. People know that the next party or the government in waiting lies within the ADC. And so definitely they are coming, they have been coming, and they will still be coming. And I'm advising those people who have not been coming to do the same.
That instead of us to be making everything individually, we'll bring it together as one and we will say ADC arise. So that we simply want, we are talking about ADC, we are talking about Ajadi, we are talking about Labour Party, we are talking about everyone. ADC is a very good party. We love ADC because those who are there, those our fathers there, they are people of high repute. They are those we can vouch for. They are those that when they say something, they do it. Whatever they vow, they fulfill the promises. We are not ready for those who will talk and they will never fulfill their promises. Ajadi is among them.
Dayo has been re-elected as the chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Oyo State during the State Elective Congress. Team from the Independent National Electoral Commission at the Lakon Salami Sports Complex. Consequently, Osiu Adeleke has also been elected a deputy state chairman, with Oyelami Oyeyemi Olaumi, Elizabeth Toyin, and Bello Kazim Olalekon elected a PDP state secretary, women leader, and youth leader, respectively. And while swearing in returning the elected officials, the chairman of Oyo State PDP Congress Electoral Panel, Senator Austin Akobundu, commended the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, party leaders and stakeholders for their commitment and efforts towards fostering unity in the PDP, stressing that the Congress was of great significance to the party. And addressing the party's faithfuls from the PDP ward and the local government executives, the ad hoc delegates and stakeholders of the party from the 33 local government areas of the state, Governor Makinde declared that the PDP will remain in office beyond 2027 in the state, and while it will also reclaim power at the center. He commended the rancor-free Congress held by the two local governments and state levels, noting that the process would ensure the party's retention of power beyond 2027 in Oyo State. The former governor of Jigawa State and one of the founding fathers of PDP, Alhaji Sule Lamido, charged the 39 newly elected state executive members to continue to work for the progress and development of the party.
This is a process to ensure that PDP continue to remain in that state beyond 2027. So the executives that will emerge from this exercise, your mandate is very clear. Deliver PDP from the presidential to the councillorship position in 2027.
It's true we are going through some difficulty in PDP, but then I think by your commitment, your resilience and your loyalty, we are going to invent a new PDP for Nigeria. And therefore, the new ESCO, which has just been elected, you've got a very, very huge task ahead of you to inspire, to motivate, and so confident PDP in Oyo State and by state Nigeria.
By the power conferred on me as the chairman of this Oyo State Congress, I hereby declare Ogumbenro Abiona Dayo and Adeleke duly elected as chairman and deputy chairman. All other officers are also duly elected.
I want to admonish every members of PDP. Please, please and please, let's go back to our various local governments and redouble our efforts to see that come 2027, PDP wins the general election.
Senator representing Ogun East, speaking during the mid-term community assessment and review tour of the Batgirl movement in the area. The former government lamented that the condition of 11 identified road networks had become dire, stressing that the rehabilitation could not be delayed. And Daniel noted that the roads are critical to the economic and social well-being of residents, and particularly farmers, traders, and students and business owners. He maintained that their rehabilitation would not only ease on the state government to allow the federal government to complement in efforts for the benefit of the local communities. The senator also assured residents that discussions are ongoing regarding the creation of Ijebu State.
we beg. We are begging our government to come to the aid of Ijebu Northeast. Without any doubt, I can see a lot of road work that is going on statewide, especially now that through the economic policy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a lot of money, big money, are now available for our various states. These roads are the lifelines for our farmers. Beg our state government to act now and allow the federal government to complement its efforts for the benefit of all.
We all knew that Ogun East belongs to Otunba Gbenga Daniel. He has, as a matter of fact, the man is not that is going now. What he has done before, what he has, the achievements he made on it, nobody can defeat Otunba Gbenga East Senatorial District today, even in Ogun State.
Gbenga Daniel is such an exceptional leader. He is one of the best we have ever had so far. He has worked as a governor for 8 years, and we are yet to see someone that will replicate his kind of projects and achievements he has done. And also being a senator, we have seen all he has done. In terms of bill he has sponsored in the House, is one of the best breed we have in Ijebuland so far. His synergy with Tinubu has also played a major role in all he has achieved.
If you see his weight in Ogun East, you will know that he certainly contributes successfully to the president's ambition.
Otunba Daniels is a consistent man. He's an enigmatic man, and he's a focused, supportive man who believes in what he's doing. For God to help him with all the bills that he has passed in the National Assembly, for everything to be successful. Most importantly, for us to have Ijebu.
The Union of Safety Engineers has lamented the recurring incidents of the fire outbreaks across Nigeria and calling for a programmatic and proactive approach in curtailing its effects. The national chairman of the institution, Engineer Sheung Faluyi, stated this while speaking on the recent fire incidents in Lagos Island and the forthcoming national conference of the NIC Safety in Ibadan, the Oyo state capital. Engineer Faluyi said that the fire outbreaks were inevitable and while expressed condolences over the recent fire incident in Lagos Island, which led to the losses in part of the victims. And on the theme of the 2025 conference of the institution, Engineer Faluyi said that this was as a result of the great concern safety engineers had over the occurring cases of fire incidents nationwide.
I'd like to express our condolences to Nigerians, particularly because of the incident that happened at the Afriland Properties Tuesday, just this past week. In that incident, 10 Nigerians died. They were Nigerians from all across Nigeria. There were Northerners and Southerners, there are Igbos, there are Yorubas, there are Hausas. There were different people, Nigerians, that died, lost their lives. So for us at the NI Safety E, and that's why the theme of the conference is fire safety. Why is it that there are so many fires in Nigeria? Why is it that fires keep occurring, whether they are in marketplaces, whether they're in office buildings, whether they're in private homes? Well, for us at the NI Safety, we know that fires are not totally preventable. Typically, fires, you can say, boils down to maybe three things. It could either be maybe a cooking gas installation that is very poorly handled, or it could be electrical installations that the wiring is bad, or it could be poor maintenance that causes this incident.
Oni of Ife, Oba Adeye Anita Ogunsi Oja II has ended his 7-day seclusion, marking a significant moment in the ongoing 2025 Olojo Festival and bringing the ancient city of Ile-Ife came alive on Friday night. His emergence was greeted with jubilation by residents, tourists and dignitaries who had trooped into Ile-Ife ahead of the festival's grand ceremonies. Emerging from his private spiritual retreat, the Oni offered heartfelt prayers for Nigerians across all walks of life, and while addressing the crowd that had gathered to welcome him back, the Oni prayed for Nigerians' families, widows, political leaders and communities battling hardship. He emphasized that his days in isolation were dedicated to intense supplication for the unity and progress of the country. As core part of the Olojo Festival, the seclusion is a period when the Oni withdraws from the public eye to commune with the ancestors, cleanse the land spiritually, and intercedes on behalf of his people. It is believed that during this sacred time, the petition to divine forces for peace, prosperity and protection for the Yoruba people and the nation at large. And that's it on the local news. We'll now take a short break, or we'll come back or take some stories from the foreign scene.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money points, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as sure banker. Progress na small wind wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course na, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point made for
At least 23 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip and since dawn, including 21 in Gaza City, according to the medical sources. And while Israeli attacks have been concentrated in Gaza City and the north, frequent strikes have also continued in the central parts of the enclave. The local media sources cited by our colleagues on the ground indicated that an Israeli drone strike has killed at least one person and injured 4 others in the central Gaza's region. And these attacks came as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet the U.S. President Donald Trump in the Oval Office and following the U.S. proposal to stop the war in Gaza. Reports say that an attack on the tent sheltering displaced people killed 1 person and injured 9 others near Nuseirat, as Israel's military says that it is deepening its offensive in Gaza. A Chinese court on Monday sentenced to death 11 members of the notorious family that ran scam centers in Myanmar, according to the Chinese state media, and dozens of members of the Ming family were found guilty of conduct, with many receiving lengthy jail sentences. The Ming family worked for one of the 4 clans that ran Myanmar's sleepy backwater town of Lok Kai, close to the border with China, and turned it into a hub for gambling, drugs and scam centers. Myanmar eventually cracked down and arrested many members of these families in 2023 and handing them over to the Chinese authority. A total of 39 Ming family members were sentenced in the eastern city of Wenzhou, and besides the 11 members who received the death sentences, another 5 received death sentences with 2 years suspension. 11 were jailed for life, and the rest were given jail sentences ranging from 5 to 24 years. And Typhoon Boloi has killed at least 11 people and damaged or destroyed hundreds of homes in the center of the North Vietnam, the state media reported. And dozens are missing or injured after the typhoon made a landfall on Sunday night and flooding roads, washing away bridges and tearing roofs of buildings before weakening and moving into neighboring Laos. Boloi has already killed more than in the Philippines since Friday, and it's the latest storm to batter the region with powerful winds and rains. And last week, a super typhoon Subagasa, the strongest storm of 2025, killed at least 28 people in the northern Philippines and Taiwan before making a landfall in Hong Kong and China. And Typhoon Boloi packed winds of 117 kilometers per hour when it made a landfall in central Vietnam, though as it moved into Laos, its maximum wind speed weakened to 74 kilometers per hour. We'll now take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll take some stories in sport. Welcome back in sport. World Football Governing Body FIFA announced on Monday that South Africa had forfeited a World Cup qualifying match against Lesotho for fielding an ineligible player. South Africa's 2-0 victory on March the 21st in Polokwane has been replaced with a 3-0 defeat, and meaning that they drop to second place in Group C of the African Zone qualifiers behind Benin on goal difference, while Lesotho remain fifth. FIFA's disciplinary committee said that South Africa violated Article 19 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code by playing Teboho Mokoena after the midfielder had accumulated 2 yellow cards against Benin and then Zimbabwe. The South Africa FA, which can still appeal the decision to the FIFA Appeals Committee and must also pay a fine of 10,000 Swiss francs, which is $12,536 US. That Manchester United have lost their soul, and he has no faith in the ability of beleaguered manager Ruben Amorim to turn things around. Amorim has taken 34 points from his 33 Premier League games, and the club has said to remain supportive of their head coach despite the damaging loss, which left them 14th in the Premier League table. But Rooney added that some current players don't deserve to wear the shirt, that the side needs a new engine, and supporters are waiting for the club to crumble. United's all-time leading goal scorer said that he goes to games expecting the team to lose. And that's where we draw. I remain Victor Daniels. Good night.
Registering the girl will create a lot of credibility problem for the competition. This is a privilege she's supposed not to miss.
No.
There's no such act or child right act that forbids a cripple from being developed. Do you know what you are saying? What am I saying? She's a cripple. She is a cripple. She's crippled. Physically and mentally. Crippled. Give her a chance.
The St. Clair's Foundation is not a charity organization. It is an academically inclined organization that takes an interest in the lives and career of intelligent children who have profound academic potentiality, not disability. So until the focus changes from the former to the latter, we cannot allow physically disabled and mentally disabled children into the program. So, my position is that we give them enough money to take the child back to Port Harcourt safely.
I should see to that immediately.
And her mind is crippled.
What are you talking about? What do you think we're here for?
Hold on, listen, gentlemen.
Hey. Morning.
Oh, yes, young man. Can we help you?
I'm Dr. Donald Falano. I brought the physically challenged child for registration.
Oh, very well. Thank you very much. Dr. Donald, introduce to this child.
Well, I'm a doctor, mentor, and I'm a guardian.
Dr. Donald, what exactly do you know about the St. Clair's Foundation, the funding organization for this competition?
Please do correct me if I'm wrong. St. Clair's organization was founded in 1956 by Henry St. Clair's and his wife Cecil as an independent, non-profit and non-governmental organization, and was originally funded with gifts and bequests from the family. It's directed by the Board of Trustees and has no connection whatsoever with the St. Clair's Auto Company. Its charter of establishment, November 12, 1967, says that it is for purely religious, scientific, literary, and educational purposes. And I also understand that you are organizing a free-for-all quiz competition for female secondary school students between the ages of 10 and 15.
Dr. Donald, you are correct to say that the competition is a free-for-all affair, but the foundation still has its limitations.
And that is with the physically challenged children?
Yes, with physically and mentally handicapped children. Crippled ones, for instance.
Ladies and gentlemen, my student is not mentally challenged. She's fit and strong and sound and intelligent and ready for the exercise. Please do give her a chance.
We would like to, but we can't. There are rules that we have to adhere to. Mr. Silas here will give you some money for your fare back to your base.
Oh, yes. Here. I have here 30,000 naira in cash. It will take care of all the inconveniences that this has cost you, the mother, and the kid. Do have a safe journey home, Mr. Dr. Doran.
Dr. Doran, I'll grab that report and see if I were you. That's a fat bonus.
You need this money more than we do. But I can assure you, I'll be back. Listen, I'm going back to see them again tomorrow.
God, now is the time to throw your weight around. Let them know who is in charge.
I came back here a second time, not because I did not hear you the first time, but to appeal to your consciences, ladies and gentlemen. Here, her result from primary school, from primary 1, she has never taken the second position.
My niece was taking the first position in my village, Agenebode. But when she came to Lagos, she was consigned to the 18th position. The standard is higher here than what you have in Port Harcourt, the school for the disabled.
And I believe that what they teach them in those places is how to feed themselves, how to use a wheelchair, how the blind inmates can use sticks to walk around, how not to soil themselves. There's really no serious intellectual exercise to tax the brain. Dr. Donald, we are not trying to depreciate the value of your ward. But come on, the truth must be told.
It is not a matter of position here, madam. All my girl is asking for is a right of participation. Look, let's not trivialize issues and make her feel like a third-class citizen. It is enough stress that she's confined to a wheelchair. This is all she's dreamt of, lived for, and hoped for. I left my job and come here because I believe it's a continuation of my mission. Please, I beg of you, give her a chance.
Dr. Donald, I do not let sentiment influence the performance of my job. I understand your position, but your ward is disabled and there is no position for her in this competition. Just so that you realize how sympathetic we are to you, I am prepared to make a proposal to the St. Flair's Foundation to create a competition just like this one for disabled children. Then your charge can compete on a level playing field.
Just like the Paralympics for disabled athletes.
Paralysis is a complete loss or impairment of the ability to use voluntary muscles as a result of a disorder of the nervous system. It may be caused by injuries or tear that compresses the nerve, and it's usually hemorrhage, tumor, infection, or substance toxic to the nerves. Sophia's paralysis was caused by an infection which was not detected early enough, but ravaged her leg when she was just 4 years old. What happened to Sophia could happen to any child. So let's not begin to rubbish God's creation, because none of us here can replicate even a strand of hair. Sophia's sickness does not in any way affect her brain or her mental capabilities. But I must thank you all for your individual and collective efforts. But like I said before, I'll be back again.
As far as our records are concerned, this case is closed. Don't come back.
No. The next time I come here, you will be inviting me. Have a great day. This is not fair. Where is justice? This is not fair. Oh no.
So, what are we going to do?
Nothing.
Let's just wait and see how the drama unfolds. This is unfair.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day that we all have been waiting for. We have, for the first phase of this competition, to avail the opportunity of expressing themselves. Thank you. Let me quickly introduce to you our 12 contestants. They are Nancy, Nika, Bimbo, Aisha, Emma, Lulu, Angela, Felicia, Imelda, Nero, Jessica, and Sarah. A big round of applause for them.
Please, like them. We are not like them. We can't walk like them. Something is wrong with us.
And now let me introduce our first two contestants, and they are Jessica. A big round of applause for her. And Sharon. A big round of applause, please.
To register for this competition, and she was thrown out. Another girl was disgraced out of this competition. All the way from Port Harcourt, another girl was sent back home for just the simple reason that, just like me, she sits on a wheelchair. If you do not want us, simply because you live in a society which you think belongs to you alone, then why not kill us? Yes, kill all of us. Kill us at birth. Instead of this inhuman treatment that befits only dogs.
Mr. Man, you have made your point. You can go now.
Don't try to stop me, woman. Even if you have a heart of stone, you must sit there and you listen to me. I have a doctoral degree in agricultural engineering. I am jobless and immobile. But tell me, how can I move when your cars and buses are made for you alone? When you build your high-rise offices without elevators so that you can climb up and down with ease and permanently condemn us to our fate. When it takes me 30 minutes to cross from one side of the road to the other, simply because your mad drivers will never stop for us. How? Just how? When people see everyone on a wheelchair as a beggar. Just while I was at the entrance, a man in this hall threw a 20 naira note at me. You know why? Because I was sitting on a wheelchair.
For 35 years of my entire life, I have asked God for one thing. One thing alone, that I may stand with two of my limbs just for 2 minutes. I am still waiting. While we wait, this injustice must be addressed. Must! Because that is the worst in humanity. Man's inhumanity to man. Wickedness, the highest level.
Moderator, go ahead. We have lost enough time.
You have to take me down. Come on.
Jessica, where and when was Nelson Mandela born?
He was born on July 18, 1918 in South Africa.
Where in South Africa? I give you 5 out of 10 points.
On the Umbashe River, district of Umtata, in Transkei, South
He was
Africa.
born in the district of Umtata in Transkei, South Africa. The next question goes to you, Sharon. Name at least 4 environmental international agreements that Nigeria is a party to.
Nigeria is a party to the Biodiversity Agreement,
the certification agreement, hazardous waste agreement, and the endangered species agreement.
Thank you very much. 10 points to Charlie. The next question is to you. Yes, sir?
Others are the Marine Life Conservation Agreement, the Law of the Sea Agreement, and Protection Agreement, signed by us.
What's wrong with her again?
You listen to the man on the wheelchair. It's heartbreaking. She answered all the questions being asked here correctly. Yet, she's holed up in this hotel room.
This is unfair, Uncle. This is not just right. Auntie Ade, did you watch me?
Oh yes, it was beautiful. Honestly, you were so.
Thank you, Auntie. I could get through it.
How?
Donald,
Yes, Sophie?
are you okay, Doctor?
Yes, I am. Why?
Doctor, am I going to die soon?
Where did that thought come from?
Dr. Donald, see me as a friend, okay? If you ever need that to be that person.
Okay then. But you have to catch some sleep. I'll see you in a bit.
Dr. Donald, don't worry. It's going to be alright. I've prayed for you.
What's going to be alright?
Whatever it is.
What is the meaning of this? Blackmail or something? Don't look at me like that. Someone saw you in the hall with that crazy man in the wheelchair just before he disgraced himself in the hall. Doctorate degree, my foot. My daughter has 2 doctorate degrees. And if you think you can black Donald, why don't you think of something more original?
Mrs. Asamoto, can we start this meeting? You invited us here. First things first, offer us a cup of coffee.
Dr. Donald, this is a serious matter.
And who says you can't start a serious matter without a cup of...
All right, doctor. Sort it out. The St. Flair's Foundation and our innocent children do not deserve the credibility.
Well, then do the right thing. Your credibility will be automatically restored.
Dr. Donald, to take that child back to Harcourt.
Well, in that case, this is just the beginning.
Madam, are you Dr.
I'm the mother of the child. On the date of the second phase, I'm going to hold a press conference right at the entrance of this office. This injustice has to be probed by St. Flair's Foundation.
Madam, there will be no need for that. I mean, just...
Where are the members of the panel?
They are in the conference room, 3rd floor. I went through the Charter of Trust Agreement of 12th November 19 challenged child. No.
That may be so. But I tell you, in the charter establishing the Nigerian chapter of the
Nothing. You're just a docile member of a panel who has not even read the paragraph 8 of the charter.
Madam, I take exceptions to such allusion. I am the project coordinator here.
Whatever.
This out for me, please. Everything.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, my dear. What is your name?
Sophia Eromosele. If you don't mind, can I have a look at your Time magazine? Is it the current edition?
Yes, it is.
The edition that did an analysis of the American presidential election?
Yes, it is. You can have a look at it. Or rather, you can keep it. I'll buy another one.
Oh, I read. The foundation in the area of education and scholarship seeks to increase educational access, educates new leaders, thinkers, then fosters knowledge and curricula that is supportive of inclusion, development, and civic life. This is the crux of the charter establishing the St. Flairs Foundation of France.
We are making you a generous offer of 200,000 naira. I mean, let this whole matter die down, go back home peacefully, and everything.
What is that?
I said a generous offer of 200,000 naira. Listen, Dr. Donald, not in your wildest imagination should you think for one make up this money, get the child on board an aircraft, or if you like, travel by road, take her back home. 200,000 naira to a poor doctor in some room of
France.
From what I've read in some foreign magazines and heard in the news, front of events, to develop the European Union's military capabilities in order to supplement progress towards an EU foreign policy. Again, when the euro bills and coins were first 13 in the next